My name is Leslie Ingram. I'm a second grade teacher at Indian Creek Elementary, and I was able to do my externship this summer at the Kansas City Zoo.
We adopted that term probably about 5 or 6 years ago, really to get away from the confusion with the term intern. The intent of an externship is that the teachers are leaving their organization or their job and going out to find out more about another job, but to bring that information back. Any educator in the Olathe system can participate, and typically about a dozen is about how many teachers or educators we have participate each summer.
What types of food do they eat? Every day I was able to shadow and be right next to the zookeepers, and we were able to do the daily routine. They call them their diets, give them their daily food. I was able to ask whatever questions I wanted to as we went. I could ask right on the spot. And how much does their weight vary from day to day?
Hopefully not very much.
I was able to get much closer to the animals than a visitor would be to the zoo.
Our educators use the information to enhance their curriculum and the content that they teach, hopefully making the connection between real-world experiences and that academic theory. In the case of elementary teachers, it's a way to broaden a student's perspective on the world.
I was able to incorporate what I learned at the zoo into my curriculum and teach my kids about what I learned hands-on.
When she does her lessons in the second grade classroom that focus on animals, she'll be able to bring real personalized and real life experiences back to the classroom, to the students. It helps kids and students and learners in general when they can make connections with other things that they're familiar with, and that just makes the whole world make a lot more sense.
And this is fresh water, but they do live in salt water.
Right.
Okay. You wouldn't think of certain questions if you were just reading that in a textbook. To be able to see the animal in a hands-on experience allowed me to learn more. I definitely wanted to see something that was behind the scenes that other people just going to the zoo wouldn't be able to see. She has no vision. It's something similar to glaucoma, they think. They call it blind eye, I believe. They thought that it could be from the sun's rays for them being outside. It might have something to do with the sea lions at the zoo being in fresh water versus salt water of their normal habitat. First day I was there, I got to spend some time with the elephants. I was able to cut up their produce. The elephants eat a diet, a lot of hay, and they also eat sweet potatoes, apples, carrots, oranges, and watermelon. The kangaroos were fascinating. I was able to see the red kangaroos, which are the typical kangaroos that we think of when we think of Australia. And I was able to be about 2 feet away from all the kangaroos. And they allow you to get very close, yet they're somewhat skittish, but they just hop along and you have to take your time and be slow with them as not to scare them and startle them. But it was fascinating to see the power of these animals with their strong tails. It's called a tree kangaroo, and it looks somewhat like a koala, and it's a lot smaller, a lot stubbier. It doesn't look like a kangaroo, but like its name, it lives in the tree. And I was able, there's 2 of them, and I was able to hand feed this tree kangaroo grapes and bananas. It was very gentle, and it was fascinating to see. I was able to go in the giraffe barn and feed them. They eat alfalfa hay. They have an area that is adapted perfectly for them where their troughs are up very high. When you go to the zoo as a visitor, you only see one rhino out at a time, and people often wonder, why is there only one of them out? If more than one were out at a time, they would fight and or kill each other. The closest I got to line was through the glass like the visitors. You definitely learn to respect their behaviors and their instincts and how they will react towards people.
I always look at the group of folks who are willing to step forward and be externs during the summer as a special group of people, just because they really are risk takers, because they're stepping beyond the world of their classroom and the world that they're very familiar with and into a world that they're not so familiar with. They are a unique group of individuals.
I was able to see a gorilla immobilization where the vet and the vet staff did a routine checkup on a gorilla, and I was able to watch the procedure from beginning to end. And to be able to observe and be that close and touch a gorilla is an experience that I'll never have, and not many people get to have, so I felt very fortunate to be able to experience that in my externship.
The bottom line is taking a content that may be pretty theoretical and broadening it to the real world where all of our students will find themselves as adults.
My externship was an extremely positive experience.